Okay, we are on. Thank you so much for being at our meet and greet. How is everybody?
Great.
I'm doing well, yeah. And how are you?
Well, I'm good. I'm always great. Have to be. What else is there, you know? Would you like to introduce yourselves?
I'm Nancy from Nanaimo.
I'm Jody and I'm in Saskatoon. So Jan's got 2 Canadian girls with her today. Woohoo!
How fun.
Yeah.
Cool. So what's everybody doing? What art are you working on?
Well, I've been kind of experimenting with some ballerinas because I've been doing a little watercolor course. But I was thinking today that I might do some of those ballerinas in Brusho. So there was, I can't remember her name, but she did pencil sketching and then a ballerina tutu, and she did it in Brusho. I thought it was amazing. That was
So
quite
kind of like line work and then just filled it in with the color, or?
well, it didn't even look like line work. She had the legs, the arms, and the face all done in a pencil, charcoal, and then this splash of color on the tutu. So, and I think on her, no, it was just the skirt. So
How cool.
yeah. Have you brought me coffee?
Ooh, we want to see that on the Brusho Fun group. Definitely
Cheers.
share.
Well, I just, when I saw that, I went, what a great, yeah, that's right. Coffee. But yeah, she was doing, I was really impressed. I thought it was a really creative idea, actually. So I'm gonna work on a little bit on that. And then I was gonna go to Fine Art Cafe and look up some other little courses and get inspired, because sometimes that's what you need, is just a little, I know for me, I just kind of get stuck in what I'm kind of doing. And then, but yeah, so.
Very cool. Can't wait to see it. Did you by chance, did you see the book that I wrote?
I saw the, which book is that? Didn't you?
Journey. It's, well, I can't. Can I pull it up here? Let me see if I can pull it up and then I'll show everybody.
Okay.
I've seen it. It's
yeah.
good. Yeah, it's good. It's gonna help people be able to just have courage to try. And
yes.
To just be.
What are you doing, Jody?
Right now?
Like, yes.
I'm working on a little pastel. I have pastel is my main medium, and I finally got my sample of UArt paper that everybody else seemed to have gotten like months ago, but mine just showed up. So I'm testing out this UArt paper, and it's the 800 grit, and I just finished doing this. But I just got my
beautiful.
Thank you. I got a couple of different sets of pastels a week or two ago. I ordered them from the States.
See that I started off with pastel, like way back in, like, we're talking 30 something years ago or more. And I love the medium for so many reasons. And but then I started manifesting autoimmune stuff, and I couldn't work with the turpentine. I couldn't work with and so I thought, okay, I'll try watercolor. And I was just way too impatient, and I found it extremely hard to do. So I just stopped and remained being a mother and raising my kids and all that stuff. So now that I've learned patience to some degree, I'm back doing watercolor, and the Brusho has been such an added. The only thing with the Brusho is I do have to be careful with the bleach. So, but I do use the bleach, and that's about the only other thing that I use to, but I love pastel and I do miss it. So
yeah.
So now I didn't know you had to use any solution with it.
Yeah, I've never used turpentine with mine. Are you using oil pastel or soft chalk?
Oil pastel. It was
Okay.
oil pastel.
That's
I
a whole different ball game. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's chalk pastel. I didn't know that.
Oh my gosh.
Like I'm
Yeah.
really,
Okay.
I mean, you know, I haven't been in the art thing for quite a while. So
Show what you're working on, Jody.
This is what the sticks look like, and they're quite literally, like, it's almost like if you mixed a whole bunch of, no, that's a bad analogy. I'm not even going to try to describe that. But I'll just show you how soft it is and how it moves. Like, I'll just hold this up, and it just that much pressure, and you're getting that much coverage. Like here, it's against my hand, so it's not going. But I mean, I'm not working at all to make that happen. And then you can just blend it. Like, can you see?
yeah, I can.
It's not going to blend that well on this paper, but I mean, you can move it. So
you can move it around. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you show you
It's
what
just-
you're working on now?
The
Yeah,
grapes
she
again.
did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw it.
So there's,
It's gorgeous.
that took me like, I don't know, when did we start? This is 15 minutes, 20 minutes, but it's very small too. So, but I also work with oil. And should I go get my bowl?
Sure, yeah, yeah. She's been playing with and I'm gonna give the scoop on it. She's been playing with a palette knife, painting with a palette knife, which I've seen some, you know, gorgeous paintings that people are doing. So yeah, she's doing very, very well.
Yeah,
So go ahead.
My daughter's working with acrylics right now. I like acrylics too, but I really found that I really want to be challenged with the watercolor. But I like working with palettes, sticks, all kinds of things. Like, I mean, I was like, wow, you can paint with a stick? That's just amazing.
Did you see Nina's new class that she has?
Oh, no, I haven't seen the new one. I'll have to go and check that one out.
On the cafe.
I love Nina's work. So
yeah. On the Fine Art Cafe Academy, she has a new class up and she's offering a 20% discount on it. And she paints with a stick in it. It's so cool.
Okay, all right, I will.
She goes out and gets a normal stick and just makes a point. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. You've got to check it out.
I will.
Adventures. There's people who paint with feathers too.
Yes.
And
I've seen that.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Okay, show your.
Okay, so I talked to an artist. His name is Thomas Kitts. He does a thing weekly, and he challenges us every week to do something different, but he works in oil. And so this week's challenge was put 2 colors of paint on your palette knife at the same time and make marks. So this is way out of my spectrum of things that I do, but I painted my my fruit bowl.
Oh,
so it's very abstract. It's not my style of work at all, but it's there was a earlier version of this that looked a little less finished, but I showed it to Jan yesterday and she said, "Are you going to put any fruit in it?" And I said no, and then I decided that the title of this is "I Ate the Last Orange."
We have Pat online. Pat, can you turn your video on if you have it?
Well, I have video, but I'm in my messy bedroom right now because I'm not feeling well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, as I told you, I wrote an ebook, and I'm going to share my screen and just show it to you. So this is it. Let me start at the beginning. Hopefully you can see it. So
yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes, I did get that and I downloaded it.
Good. Yep. It's your journey to creativity. And the reason this came about is that so many times, I put a lot of different things on my personal Facebook page, and a lot of friends aren't artists, and they're like, oh, I don't have a creative bone in me. I can't draw a straight line. Well, who cares? So that's how this came about, is to just kind of trigger the creativity in yourself and just to have fun. It's a free downloadable. So anybody go to the Fine Art Cafe Academy, and it's there to download. You just join my email list and you can download it. So, and it just kind of goes through. I don't know if you guys want to see part of it, but just kind of give some examples, and we talk a little bit about value. And then I really love doing scribble art. So we talk about that, and then I give you an area where you can do your own scribbling. So that's it. It's just kind of fun. Now let me escape out of here. Don't want to do that. And let me get back into Zoom.
So techy.
I got to push all these. So that's when Jody was showing her grapes I was doing. I was trying to set it up so I could show everybody. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. I hope it sparks creativity, because I think every one of us has creativity in us.
Yes.
And as a child, look how kids are so free in what they draw, and they could care less if it's perfect or not. It's just, I think it's there. If we could just all, trigger that just a little bit. So that's how that came about.
Well, I think that's awesome. I when I first started doing all of this stuff, I picked up a watercolor kind of palette, and I had some Brusho, and I have a friend who's got, I don't have grandchildren yet. I hope one day, but I don't have them yet. And but I do have a young friend who's got 4 kids, and I'm kind of like their surrogate grandmother. And one of them had a birthday. She's a 10-year-old. And we decided when we could, which was, I don't know when it was a few months back, and we did a little birthday party, and she had 4 of her friends, and we did watercolor and Brusho. And they just, it was the most fun, it was the most funnest thing I'd ever done. And all we did was little exercises with salt and wax, but I wanted, because they say that kids will stop their art at 10, usually around 9 and 10. They don't continue on. And I wanted to let them know that they can continue on, and that there's all kinds of things you can do. You don't have to be this perfect drawer. I know I'm not. I'm working on it, but I got a long way to go.
Yeah. That's it. And that's why the scribble art is so fun. Who cares? It's scribbling. It's going outside of the lines. It's just playing and getting your values. And so Pat, we did not have you introduce yourself. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay, my name is Pat Hannum. I live on Long Island, Port Jeff Station, just about 70 miles east of New York City. And I have always worked, and I've never really had time for painting. And now I'm in a 2-bedroom condo, but my divorced sons moved back home, which annoys me to no end. So there's not much room for me to do any painting or anything. So I bought the Brusho. I don't know why. And then I didn't know what to do with it. It's still in its box. Okay. And I got the flash, the Brusho flash. So I figured one of these days I have to get started. And I liked how you began with create something every day. So when we are done with the Zoom meeting, I think I'm going to go create something. I have a book, a scrapbook of paper to start doing it, watercolor paper in there. And it's empty. It's completely blank.
There you
So
go.
I got to fill it up.
How many pages are in your journal, your art book?
At least 100.
There you go. One small shake of one of those little pots a day. Get creative. Just even if it's just like what we do on what is it Wednesday, where you just sprinkle and then let it dry and then find something that you can either outline or do negative painting or just emphasize in it. Just every day play and do something creative.
Okay, yeah.
And then you have to share it in a group.
Right, then I have to share it with you. Yeah.
Is that a new law?
Yeah.
Well, for me, it will be a new law. Yes, it will. Yeah.
It's the Hackett law.
So I'm from the metropolitan New York area. Where are each of you from?
I'm from
Go ahead.
I'm from Vancouver Island in British Columbia, and so
Okay.
I'm in the opposite direction. And my name's Nancy.
And I'm Jody,
well-
and I'm in Saskatoon, Canada. So I'm kind of right in the middle of the country.
Okay, and Jan?
I'm in the state of Ohio. I sit right on Lake Erie in a little town called Port Clinton, Catawba Island. Put-in Bay, are you familiar with? the
Yes,
island
I've
of
been
Put-in
there.
Bay?
Yes,
Yep.
I was there when the water spout come across the Lake Erie one day. I'll tell you, that was frightening.
Oh, yeah, we see them, because we sit on the water, we see them quite frequently. Yep, the storms are brewing. Yep, so you know where I'm at.
Right,
Cedar
right.
Point, I'm 20 minutes away from Cedar Point, about 20 minutes away on the ferry to the islands. So yeah, it's a fun area, tourist town.
Right, yes. I went to Kent State University there back in the 90s. Although I actually went to college in the 60s. I had a little grant, so I spent some time up there. I went to Sandusky and stuff like that. Took the boat ride out into Lake Erie. Very nice. Yeah, my husband's family, his father's side is from Canada, but from Newfoundland. They're a different breed. Yeah.
So we've got coast to coast covered today.
Yes. Yeah.
So we were kind of sharing what we're working on. Jody showed she's working with pastels on UArt, which is a sanded paper, and she's doing a small grape painting. Nancy's going to be working on ballerinas with Brusho and sketching too, or how are you going to do them, Nancy?
Well, I was thinking of doing a mixture of watercolor because I'm working with one color. I'm trying to learn value right now because I figure if I can get this mastered, I can probably do other things a little bit better. And negative painting is another one that I'm kind of focused on right now. Yeah. So I'll probably do it in watercolor and Brusho.
Cool. Good. And Pat, you're going to be doing your journal or your art pages once a day. Yay.
Right. Yes, I will. Mhm.
Very
Yeah. Now, I did do a painting using instant coffee, which was
Using
before
what?
I bought the Brusho. And I took little bits of instant, I don't know why, instant coffee and water, and just different values of that, to use your term. And I painted a lighthouse, a beach scene from around the area. So, although that's in the other room, I really can't go get it right now. It's so good that I actually put it on the wall. I hung it up. I was so proud of it.
cool.
But
it uses just the one color. And I like that. Yes.
Monochromatic. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure if this fellow posts his work publicly or not, but I think his name is Daryl Williams, and he only paints with coffee. And he does amazing work. So I hope I got his name right.
Yeah, I've heard of people that paint with wine when they have a glass of wine and they dip the brush in the wine instead of in the water.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but I think that might be a little accidental, not intentional.
Oh, come on, let's be creative.
But I bet you there is probably some wine painters out there too, because it's got some good staining quality to it.
Oh, yeah. Yep. It's like Brusho, very staining.
Yeah, but don't drink that.
Now, this Brusho group seems like a very big group. When I look online with the number of members.
It's a
Yeah.
really active, very friendly, very sharing group of individuals. Yes.
Because it's the one Facebook page I check every day. I
Yay.
just like seeing the paintings that people do. It's really nice. Yeah.
It's very inspiring, and I like that there's all levels. Like you get the people that I know I will never be able to paint like, and then there's people who are putting up stuff that's like a 5-minute, just a quick little thing. And I'm somewhere in between that range. So I like that there's so diverse and that there's room for everybody.
Well, and we've always instilled in the group, and Jody's helps me with it. We've got Jody and then Michael, and Michael's not around a lot anymore. He's into doing clay. But we always instilled that if you're a beginner, post your work. If you're further along, post your work. Share everything, because that's how we all grow and learn. And
Right.
I think we've been successful in fostering that type of a atmosphere in the group.
Yeah, you have.
And then we try to put up challenges and different things just to keep everybody, motivated to continue painting and keep working on it and be proud of your work. And yeah, so that was my goal when I originally started it. But
Pat, I started in, I believe it was around November, I joined the group, and I hadn't picked up a paintbrush or anything. I actually used to do stuff and I still do, in colored pencil. And so I was a bit intimidated at first because there's so many good artists that are on Brusho. But then I thought I have to enjoy the journey and I have to learn from my own process. So I had to get over that part of it. And so, I've been posting my work and I've been seeing how, I have been improving, especially if I take the classes that are on the Fine Art Cafe. That would be a really good place for you to start, to even with your Brusho. Is there's lots of free classes on there, and that would get you going with the Brusho. So that's what I did, and I found it really, really helpful.
Good.
So
Yeah.
And I'm starting to put together a newsletter that I promise, fingers crossed, that it's going to go out every week. That's my goal. I get so busy doing everything that I kind of drop the ball on things, but that's my goal, is to have the newsletter go out weekly. And Teresa K. Brown, who's an artist and one of the contributors in the Fine Art Cafe Academy, she gives a tip, and that's kind of what I want to focus around, is tips, tricks, and motivation around the newsletter. And that's her tip, is to practice every day and to take classes or workshops. And in the quote, she says that there's so many caring instructors out there that they reach out and they touch you, and more so than just watching something on YouTube, And that's one of the things with the Fine Art Cafe Academy we try to do, is the instructors are there to help. And if you have questions, and so many of them are in Brusho Fun group. Got Teresa's in the group, got Nina's in the group, Lisa's in the group, Sally's in the group. Who am I forgetting? Jody. I keep wanting Jody, but she won't do it for me.
I am terrible. I'm sorry.
You are not. But they're all, Brusho artists at heart, but they all do other mediums. So it's really cool that, they're there to help. It's all you have to do is reach out and say, hey, I have a question. And we're putting some new technology into the academy, where some of the classes are going to have where you can post your work now and make, have the artists, make comments, and the artist will help you, the instructor. So we're trying to take things up to the next level. but it's a lot of fun. So yeah, Pat, you have to check out the Fine Art Cafe Academy. And
Mhm.
the actual web address is the fineartcafe.academy. So instead of .com, it's .academy. So yeah, it's where my heart is. I love helping people, and that's how the Academy came to existence.
And it's been quite a journey to watch Jan. I met her, well, I've actually never really physically met her, but we have known each other through Facebook for almost 4 years.
Mhm.
And I've watched her take this from dream to reality.
Yeah.
Her struggles and her victories, and I cry, but it's amazing to watch what she's building and how she helps lift up different artists and just bring them up.
That's
Yeah.
what it's all about. You know, so many of the artists that I've met through my journey have helped me. And I come from an adult ed background with, you know, teaching adults and getting them on a path to a job. And, you know, that's my background. So it's just instilled in me to want to continue on with that. When I retired, you know, my husband had already been retired for a year, and he was into that, you know, he can just sit and watch the universe go by, and he loves that. And there's nothing wrong with it, but I have to be doing something. So it's okay, let's take this dream that I've always had and do it. And I had wonderful people along the way who have helped me, who've worked with me, who taught me. And now to be able to pass all of that on is just, it's my dream. Now to hit the lottery so that I can pay for it all.
Oh,
But yeah, so.
Well, the lottery will come as you keep building your audience, and then as more and more people come on, you won't win the lottery. You'll actually just start making more off of the courses and everything than what you put into them. It'll be a slow, it's like the roller coaster, right? And you're just going up that steepest hill right now.
Yeah.
And then you'll get there.
No, I know. And I've hit the lottery with the friends that I've made. That's my lottery. So life is good.
I think too, like what Jody is saying is just the consistency. And that is exactly what I have seen with any of my friends that have been successful, started like where you are, which I am so grateful that you did this, Jan, because I've met you and so many wonderful people because you did this. So I feel totally enriched by it. So, you know, and I just think the just being consistent is where, and then as Jody said, you're going to, all of a sudden it's going to hit that. I remember hearing a talk or on the pendulum, you know, how it goes back and forth, and or when a bathtub is filling up with water, it takes forever, and then all of a sudden it hits this breaking point, and then it's like it's filling up faster. So I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. It's, you know, like I said, it's just good, and it's just, it makes my heart feel good, and that's all that counts. So all is good. Yeah. So
have any of you tried the Brusho Flash? Because I just ordered that. Flash.
I haven't tried that.
They're
Iridescent.
metallics.
It's like pearl. You have to paint first, I guess, and put it on top. I don't know. During the week, I will try it. I just ordered from Amazon.
If you go to the Academy, I did a wreath where I used the pearl.
Okay.
And I use it on black paper. So yeah, there's 6 in the box.
Uh-huh.
That's the sprinkle it, right?
Yeah.
I haven't heard of Brusho Flash. I'll have to go to their website and look. It must be a new one.
It comes in a box.
Is it like this? Mine's sprinkler.
Yeah.
Yes. And
I don't know how to use it.
There's iridescent violet, iridescent gold. I'm missing one. Oh, here it is. pearl, gold, copper, and their iridescent flash. And
That's what I have is the flash.
yeah,
too.
so Pat, I think that's probably what you're talking about. And it
Right,
has to be wet for it to stick. But it puts a real shine on the paint. It's like a metallic.
Oh,
Have
okay.
fun with it.
You've given me an idea. I think what I'm going to do with my little ballerina, and I do Brusho tutu, I'll put some flash on her.
There you
See how
go.
that works.
Those shiny satin shoes.
There you go. That would be great. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, if you figure out how to take a photo of it so that it actually shows in the photo, let me know,
Yeah.
because it's very difficult to get that glitter, that sparkle in a photo. Videos work
Okay.
a little better, but yeah.
Actually, I have a trick about that. So if you do a video, you can video it, then look at your video and snapshot the video.
Take a
And I-
screenshot. Yeah.
Take a screenshot. Someone who does, she has a blog, I think it's Farmhouse on the Boon. I like to watch her, and she did a little thing on how she gets these amazing photos. And she says, that's how I do it, because she says, I am not a photographer, but I take video of everyday life. And so she'll look at that video and then caption. I went, that's such a great idea. So I've been taking a lot of photos that way. And then, if I don't need the video, I just get rid of the video, but I keep the photo. So I'll try that. That might work.
Definitely. Let us know how it works out. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And Pat, we want to see how you use your flash when it comes in.
Right. I got to start with the basic stuff first. Yeah.
Well, just like I said, make marks, start with a simple apple or something like that and use it as a highlight to get the reflection off of it or something like that. Just,
Yeah,
start at the shallow end of the pool.
right.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan. Yes. Although
think
when
I
I
started-
learned how to, as a kid, when we learned how to swim, we went out into the bay, and my grandfather would throw us over the boat, and my father was in the water to catch it. That's how we learned how to swim. Over our
I learned
heads.
the same way. I got thrown off the boat, but with a life jacket on. There was nobody in the water to catch me.
Yeah. But I think I'm gonna paint at the shallow end first. And I like the idea of the fruit. So we'll see what we have between now and next week. Banana, an orange, an apple. Yeah.
Something simple.
Pick everyday items. Set an apple in front of you and just sketch it and paint it, or just paint it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And set aside any preconceived notions of your lines have to be perfect. If you're doing a bowl and it's not a perfect ellipse, don't worry about it. We're still going to know it's a bowl, and
Right.
just be free, have fun. Just,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what it's all about. Isn't that
As-
what art is about? Is just having fun and enjoying.
And
Yes.
especially with
yes.
Brusho, because it's got that burst and that freedom that comes with it. And, yeah. Just.
Yep.
I feel like I want to get my Brusho out this afternoon, Jan.
All right, go for it. This is
I feel-
someone who says she's not very good at it. And if she would just stop, she's really good. You are.
Oh my
so
goodness.
You're too kind. You're too kind.
good. You've gotten over the fear of it.
Well, yeah, I think that's it, is I talk the talk, but I don't walk the walk. I'm still intimidated by those crazy little crystals.
Oh.
That's what's so fun about those crazy little crystals, is the vibrancy, what they
Yeah.
do, the unexpected results you get. They're crazy fun.
Well, and I
They
think as
taught-
I'm learning, go ahead, Nancy.
I was just going to say that they've taught me how much I like control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's
I'm
the
like,
biggest
okay,
thing.
gotta let it go.
Yeah. But I think as I've been learning more about painting and art just across the board, I think I'm understanding a little bit more about the Brusho too. And it's kind of like layering information, and the one carries over, and it's like, oh, just as we were talking now, and I'm talking to you about the looseness of the apple and stuff. And I'm seeing in my mind how I can use the Brusho just slightly different than I have in the past, and that I might have a better experience with it now. So that's why I'm feeling a little bit inspired towards it. I might make an apple, guys.
There you go.
There you go.
I have a friend who is a colored pencil instructor, and he always teases me because in his classes, it's very structured. It's very photorealism. It's, and then I do something and it's got color in it. You know, it's just, it's just not in me anymore to paint so photorealistic, which, you know, that's his thing. But he was making fun of me yesterday because he is like, well, the more you do colored pencil, the more structured you're going to be. Perfect. And I'm like, you're talking about me? I don't think so. I don't think that's in me.
I think your technique and your form is going to improve, but your expressive colors are just a part of you, and you're going to find a way to make it you in that portrait realm.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. You're
And
just going to still
working on a self-portrait, and he goes live all the time working on it. And he's funny because he's using intense, are they watercolor pencils? I think they're watercolor pencils for the background. And he's going in with water, and he's very meticulously going up around his self-portrait of the colored pencil. And I'm like, oh, go for some lost and found edges. Oh, maybe, okay.
Well, maybe he'll learn to loosen up a little bit from you, and you never know what people will be inspired to try just from a conversation with someone else, you know?
Yeah.
So
It's funny because now you hear the people in the colored pencil group that I'm in, that we meet every Wednesday, and they're like, oh, I think I'll add some different color to this. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
changing the world, Jan.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Jane.
Hi. She is loving this.
Have a good day.
You too.
He's
Off to
leaving.
work.
Off to work. Yes. Yeah. He's a jack of all trades, this guy here. He can do anything. Kind of handy.
Even sometimes a husband.
Yeah.
Bye, all.
Bye.
Bye. So what's on everybody's agenda for the weekend?
Oh my gosh, it's the weekend.
Yeah, it's Friday already.
Wow. I don't have any really big plans. So I love plein air painting, and I tried on Wednesday to go down by the river, and it was a beautiful, gorgeous day. The sky was perfect and everything, but there was so much wind. I set up my chair and I went to grab my stuff, and the wind was blowing my chair away. And I figured, okay, well, that's the heaviest thing out of all of the things here. So if it's blowing the chair, it's probably going to blow my pastels and my paper away. So I packed up and came back home. But maybe tomorrow I can try again.
That's exactly what I want to do too. I actually got my husband made a little plein air kit for me that we found on YouTube. So we just attach it to the tripod. So I'm all ready to go, but it's been so, like, it's nice out, but it doesn't feel the temperature. It's always lower, and it's so windy these days that I haven't been able to try it. So, but the weather's going up into high double digits next week.
Ooh.
So I'm going to be doing it. And I may even tomorrow. Today's our only cloudy day, rain day that we're having. And then from there on, it's just sunshine. So, and gardening. I do want to get my yard and stuff ready. So be a bit of both.
Yeah. How
You've
about
been
you,
able
Pat?
to-
What- Oh,
Me?
I'm sorry.
Well, I just got out of the hospital, so I have to rest and keep my feet up. But I think what I'm going to be doing is delegating the garden to my sons. They can go out there and do that work. And I'll sit there and I'll get my painting journal out and put that on my lap and start painting, you know, a little my lap board or whatever. And it should be sunny tomorrow, and then we'll have rain on Sunday. But it will be pleasant this weekend. I just have to keep my feet up for a couple more days. Then I get my second shot on Tuesday. See how that goes, the vaccine. Has everyone gotten their shots yet?
I'm not old enough yet.
Yeah,
Really?
I'm plenty old. I've had both of mine.
Yeah. In us, where I live, everyone from age 16 and up can get the shot, which is nice, except they don't have enough shots.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So,
So I think the appointments are booked out through June. But
wow.
yeah, anyone 16 and over can get a shot.
Yeah. This is
Yeah.
same here now in Ohio, but we had ours back when it was 65 plus. So
Yeah.
I think where I live in the next couple of weeks, it'll be my age group range and I should be able to start getting on a list to hopefully get it done.
Right. I'm so used to being quarantined or staying home isolated that I can't wait to get out and see my grandkids and stuff like that. You know.
Yeah.
And my sister, I love to see my sister. I could go out and sit by her house and paint. Yeah, maybe you get her to start painting.
Hey,
Who
there you go.
knows? Yeah.
It sure taught us how to value things differently, didn't it, this past year?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Family matters, people matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people out of work.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
And yet
Yeah.
there's also been such a surge of reinvention and creativity as people kind of learn how to overcome those things. And it's been
Yeah.
amazing to watch some people as like reinvent life to survive.
Yeah, my best friend took up quilting. Making different things on quilts. Not that she's a quilt artist or anything like that. Potholders is where she is.
Okay.
So, but just to keep busy, people are going back to doing some creative activities. Yeah.
I did it. I started it was in around November. I don't do well in the winters here. I really wish I could be down south. I've never had the opportunity to do that, but I need a lot more vitamin D. I need a lot more light. And so I don't do well. And so I thought, how am I going to get through this winter? And so that's when I started doing the painting. And it really was more for therapeutic reasons. And I had to turn the TV off because that was really affecting me. And that's how, I mean, to me, I think I kind of sailed through the winter better than I ever have. Even when we weren't in lockdown. So I'm just kind of like, wow, this really did help me a lot. So, and I feel like I've reinvented even my friends have seen that. They're like, you got to keep going on this. You got to be making cards and I've got lots of ideas that are going on inside. So, of where I want to take it. But like I'm at the very beginning, I'm kind of like you, Jan. I'm like really at the very beginning going, what should I do with these hands? Where are they going to take me?
Yeah, so you'll be surprised your journey. It'll be
Yeah.
interesting.
And I've been journaling it as well, like journaling it as art, but also writing, because I do want to look back. To me, I think this is a very historical what's happening. And so I want to journal it. And yeah.
Good
keep
for
it at
you.
that.
No,
Yeah.
no, good for you. Yep. There's a lot of people that being in these lockdowns that we've had has just affected them. So it's hard on a lot of people.
It is.
And yeah, not being able to see your grandkids, not being able to hug them.
Mhm.
When this all first started, my grandkids all love art, and we would Zoom and draw and paint together. So we're not doing that like we did before because it's so much more open now. But yeah, it was hard on the kids too.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's very hard on the kids. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I have, let's see, 3 grandkids that haven't been in a school classroom since last March. And the other 2, their school always stayed open. They went 2.5 days a week. That's how they space the kids out. So you can see the difference in the, I know, the joy, the ones who get to see their friends and do some sports and activities, they just seem so more open, I think. The other ones, well, I only see them on Zoom when we Zoom
Mhm.
together. That's it. Yeah. No. So
I know
terrible.
my grandkids. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it affected my grandkids, and they're all back in school now and loving it. And so that's, it's a good thing. But look what they
Right.
lost in that year.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And just going shopping. I haven't been in a store in a year. My husband does the grocery food shopping at 8 o'clock in the morning when there's no one around. And it's, I'd love to go shopping.
Yeah, well, maybe when you get your other shot, you'll be able to get out and about a little bit. You still have to be careful. You still have to wear your mask, but
Right, yeah. They said 2 weeks after the shot, then I could start thinking about going out.
yeah.
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 So forward to that. But,
Mhm.
wearing the mask. But at least I don't have to wear the mask when I paint my house
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
or sit on the back patio. That would be
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
Well, don't we have an artist in the group that does plein air with Brusho? I'm trying to think. I thought there was somebody that actually,
Well, Nina did it. Just that's why I said to her, the fact that you did Brusho in plein air, I'm like hands off to you. Like I would never think of bringing Brusho for unless it was out on my own porch. But
I took it once, only once. Not gonna happen again.
although she did a pretty good job because she did that with that boat scene or something like that. I thought, well, that's pretty good, but I'm more impressed that you actually took it out on the field.
we have a plein air group here in town. I really should do that. I should venture out with them and take my Brusho and see the reactions.
Yeah. Oh dear.
That might be priceless. Take my camera and just
Yeah.
shoot the whole thing.
Get Rich to be there to record it for you so that you could do, and he can be the record keeper of the event.
Yeah, I could
Yeah.
put them all downwind of me so that they're all, like carrying their
See?
own sprinkles.
That's right. Yeah, downwind. Oh dear. Oh.
That would be bad. That would be my sense of humor.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna have my lunch and I'm gonna start my painting.
There you go.
All right. We
It
can't
was
wait.
nice to talk to you today, Pat.
Yeah, well, I'm
Better
still in
soon.
the mood. I got that uplifting feeling of getting a paintbrush in my hand and the Brusho out. Yeah,
Yay.
yeah.
We
See what
can't
I
wait
hope
to
you-
see it.
Right.
And I hope you feel better soon as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, me too. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Keep us posted, and I hope you can get on next week.
Oh, I've been looking forward to it.
Yay.
I have to show you what I did.
Well,
Yes.
no,
Of
I have a
course,
goal. Yes,
Show and tell.
yes, right. Okay, good.
Take care.
You too. Alrighty.
Bye,
Bye.
Peg.
Bye.
So Nancy, you do colored pencil.
Yes, but I haven't done anything since November because I just dived into this. In fact, it was a colored pencil work that I did back in September. My girlfriend asked me if I would do a card and of her nephew who got married. And so I thought, oh, I haven't done anything for a while because I'm one of those people that is like I get interested and then I lose interest, or I'm got other things going on in my life, and so because there's nothing else going on in my life, I have lots of time. So I did it, and it turned out I was actually quite impressed with how it had turned out myself. So that's actually that particular drawing is what catapulted me into doing the watercolor and everything else. So, but I do love my colored pencils, and I probably will get back to them at some point. They are a much slower, require a lot more patience, and I actually started doing them because they were helping me with like I have an like what do they call it, a attention deficit or whatever, hate using that word or any labels, but it really helps me to focus, and that's what I needed help with. So yeah, so it's been, they're really good that way. So I was really using a lot of them, and another challenging medium, really, to be honest with you, they are. And your work with that rose was it a rose that you did, or was it, what type of flower was that? It was a rose.
The
Some
peony
people call
rose.
A peony, yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say, some people called it a peony, some called it a rose.
Yeah, I knew it was a fuller flower than a rose, so that's right, a peony. I love that. That was really, really good.
But here's my question to you, and I've not had the opportunity to look at somebody's colored pencil work firsthand. So the instructor that I'm taking courses from, he is like, you don't have any white spots showing. The tooth of the paper is totally filled with Brusho, or with colored pencil.
Right.
I have a real difficult time with that because I like the see-throughs, what I call see-throughs. I like the white spots in watercolor and Brusho. So when you do colored pencil, is your paper where the color is totally covered with pencil? And I don't know if I'm explaining.
I have white parts. I've gone through an instructor, but I use the white sort of the similar way that I would use it for highlights and things like that. And I haven't done a lot of it, honestly, Jan, to be an expert. I do watch, what's her name? I'm going to see if I can find her. I really like her. She talks very fast, and Lacker is her last name.
Lackery. Lachrie.
Yes, Lackery. And but she's really, really good. I'm gonna see if I can find her in my subscriptions here to get her name. I think it's let me see here. Lackery Fine Art. I'm gonna go here. So it's Lackery Fine Art, and I don't know if you can. That's her YouTube page.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And she does a lot of like realism. Like I love what she does, because she does a lot with water and stuff. But you know what? Facebook locked her out of her a whole page, her whole account. And she didn't know, they said that she hadn't with community stuff or whatever it was. She never comments on anything. She never says anything political. She never, none of that stuff. So she did not know why. She did get down to the bottom of it, and it was to do with the algorithm. But she had to find out, has this happened to anybody else? So it was really weird. She was shut out of her own account with over, I think she says something about 30,000. I don't know if she was talking about subscribers or followers, or if she, so everything was just locked out. But she does really beautiful work, and she probably on there would have a question to that. So I've listened to her, although she does, draw with me, it's hours. So I only have this much attention. I can't. So it's got to be shorter for me. I just give me the Coles notes and let me go, and then I do my own thing, right? So I probably miss some good tips and techniques because of that, but I would recommend her because her art is so great. So, and I think you can do Patreon with her. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think she has that, but I have to share, this is what I'm working on.
Oh, gorgeous.
But I don't know.
I love the yellow. The yellows are so wonderful.
But it's on pastel mat, and when you look at it, it's not vibrant.
And that is okay, so you can have you used mineral oil?
No, not mineral oil. I've used Gamasol, which is a odorless,
It's a solvent, yeah.
So just a second here. I'm going to see if I have it in here. Okay, so this is, I think this is odorless paint thinner, and you can use that a little to go over, like I would do a little bit of experimenting, and it brings a sheen to it.
Yes, that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it does, because there's one of them that does. It brings out the color. So you could try it. Don't do it on your art. Do a square patch and see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because on the Gamasol, that really takes the shine. When you put that on there, it helps blend, but then it really mutes it down. You definitely have to go back over it with colored pencil.
Yeah.
So to bring out, yeah.
I wonder if Lackery has a question on that. There might be. You could ask her. So.
And I'm wondering if it's a pastel mat because it's so soft. If that's the reason that I'm not getting vibrancy.
It might be because I did meet a colored pencil artist down Island or Up Island. She's the one who actually turned me on to the whole thing, and she said paper. You must have the right paper. So she said do not. Yeah, so I buy colored pencil paper when I'm doing colored pencil. So or mixed medium if I want to practice. I'll do a mixed medium, but yeah, it's not going to come out like colored pencil paper is so smooth. Like it's very, very smooth.
Yeah. And I have it. It's just the instructor, he really does a lot on pastel mat, John Medic, that I'm taking. And a lot of his just seem to be a little more vibrant than what mine are. And I don't know why. So.
Did you ask him?
Not yet, because this is the only one that really doesn't have that vibrancy. But I'm trying to do this one very slow and meticulous, because usually I'm very okay, I'm over this, and I do go heavier, and and I'm like instead of.
So how many layers do they tell you that because I think the pencil crayon gal, she said the rule is 8 around there, 8 layers.
On this one, I have layers and layers and layers and more layers.
So over 8.
Oh, yeah, Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Do you think you can get some of that vibrancy by just doing a little bit more of a contrast, or is that not what you're like? Can you go darker in some areas to help pop it, or?
I don't think darker. I think if I go more layers, then I'll start building up more of the thickness of
Mhm.
the pencil. I think. I don't know. But I don't know.
You definitely have to make prints with that art because it takes so many hours. Like, I mean, it's
Mhm.
probably the amount of time that goes into a masterpiece is
Yeah.
like crazy. I mean, even with the one that I did with the kit with the bride and groom, you know, they were looking out at the sunrise. So it was just their silhouettes from the back, and it was done in color. And I think I put in probably close to 30 hours on it, and it didn't even have the layers that you're even talking about. And I went, you know what, they're not going to know any different. this is done.
Yeah.
So, but I knew that there could have been way more layers put down, but I was, you know, it will the what do they call it, the bridal shower or the party that we're at the reception, because we did the reception, I think it was like 5 months later, because they got married with just family, because they got married a year ago when all this stuff happened, right? So so there was no reception, there was no nothing, and so we did a reception for them in September. And so I was running out of time, really, was the whole thing. But
Yeah. No, it's a very slow medium unless you get frustrated and then you really push too hard, which I do that a lot because I do it at night while we're watching TV. And I get, I'll get to that point where it's like, oh, I can't do, I just, and then I go heavy, and I know I shouldn't, it's just like, oh, well.
yes.
That hedgehog that I did, I don't know if you saw the hedgehog. Oh my God, there's hours and hours and hours, because each one of those little quills is like a painting in itself, a drawing in itself.
Yeah. And I am one of those, like, I'm really happy with myself if I do accomplish something that's taken a long time, because it's more, for me, it's about the patience that I practice. But my tendency is to go, I want fast results. Like, that's what I'm all about.
Well, here's my challenge to you, and this is what I've been trying to do, is use Brusho or watercolor along with colored pencil.
Oh,
so
hey, that's maybe what I should do with the ballerina.
There you go, because you
I
can go
could do
and get detail. Yeah. Now, did you see my Gertie, my black and white pup that we have? I did her, and I put, because she has black, so much black, I did all of the black with traditional watercolor, but it was done with blues and purples, because I don't use black.
No, neither do I. Yeah.
So then I went over it all with the colored pencil, and on that I used Stonehenge Aqua watercolor paper, 140-pound hot press. So it was very smooth. I love it. I have the gloss I like, or the shine I like, and then it's almost velvety looking. Her painting just turned out great.
So hot press, because I was just going to say, what type of paper would go with all three? On hot press would be, okay, I have hot pressed.
Yeah, because it's very smooth. Hot press is very smooth. Cold press is medium, and then rough is the real toothy watercolor paper. But yeah, I really, really like it. That paper you told me, Jody, you bought Fabra.
I got some Fabriano Tisana or some, I can't remember. There's different brands of Fabriano, but it's the pastel one.
Yeah, that's smooth. Isn't that real smooth?
It's not the same kind of tooth as a sanded paper. It is just a textured paper, so it's more like a pressed paper than.
Okay, because
Yeah,
a
it's
lot
not
of
sanded.
colored pencil artists use that brand and they buy the
Yeah,
hot press or whatever, yeah.
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 I don't know what press this one is, and I don't have it right here in front of me to grab. It's way over there, still in a package. So
Well, I was doing some hellebores from Joanne Boone's Patreon class that I wanted to learn this. I was like, okay, I had so many hellebores all over the place here. I didn't even post one. I think I did it just recently, but I used all these different papers. Like I used the really rough watercolor paper. I used, and I had the same problem with the Brusho. And I was talking to, she's the gal, I think, from Europe. I won her rock star class.
Naja.
Naja, I knew it was an N, Naja. And Naja says, oh, you need a certain type of, because I was having so much problems with the Brusho just not doing anything on some of the watercolor paper I had. It was just like, so this was way back in January when I was still learning about the papers, and I'm still learning, but I had the same problem. But I was really quite impressed with hot pressed, because after it all dried, I kept thinking, Nancy, it always looks different if you just walk away from this painting and then come back and look at it. So I've learned a lot with that. But when I came back, the one that was really toothy, and I think it was my indigo 100% cotton paper, which I was having the worst time with. But actually, after it dried, it looked not too bad. I was like, oh, I guess it doesn't look that bad. And the hot pressed had a different texture, different feel, but it also is just as pretty. So it is finding which paper that I like.
Yeah.
I haven't really found one yet that I may have to just struggle through it. I bought some Bockingford paper too. I use that one mainly now for Brusho. I'm just keeping that one aside for the Brusho. And but yeah, so the paper is definitely, and I have the Fabrio. I think it's the one that Jody was just talking about. I have that in hot pressed. I did the pear in Brusho. I did the pear that I did quite a while ago in Brusho and watercolor. And that was very, very structured pear. And when it was done, I was like, I really liked it because I like method, right? I like, okay, do this, do that, and you're going to get the result, which is, I like that, but I want to challenge myself. So, but when it was done and I looked at it, I went, you just look like a pear on a piece of white paper. You need something about you. So that's what I put the brush around the background.
Yeah.
But yeah, so.
Yeah, and you find, because when I originally started watercolor, I only used arches. And I use the cold press, and it's pretty toothy. And now I have like, oh my God, I have so many full sheets of that I bought and just haven't used. So I keep trying to use it up. But I keep going back. I love Stonehenge Aqua. And
okay.
it's by Legion Paper. And I've gotten to know the owner of the company, Michael Ginsberg. And he's a great guy, very caring. And he just put a lot of care in when he created this paper a while back, oh my gosh, maybe 4 or 5 years ago now. And I'm really hooked on that paper, more so than art.
So where does he sell it from? Like, is it?
You can get it any of like Dick Blick, any of the cheap.
Okay.
You can find it in Canada quite easily too. I have an art store here that they stock it. So we're kind of a hole in the wall kind of a place. So I'm sure you can find it with ease. I'm not sure if Opus sells it or not, but you probably have an Opus pretty close to you.
We have Iron Oxide, which is in Nanaimo, and I have just discovered this little art store. I love it. The other one that I've done is I ordered from Delta, which is out of Edmonton.
Yes,
and I got some really good deals. Yeah, really good deals there. So I was just going to say, does Delta sell it? They probably do.
They do.
Yeah.
They have everything. Delta is one of the first places that I found in Canada that has all the Brusho supplies, and it also has my other
Yeah.
passion, which is pan pastels. So they are my store. Even the ones out east don't have the stuff that Delta has. So they're
So, and what's the pastels that you're working with again?
oh,
They're
the ones that I showed you are not the one. These were just soft chalk, but there's also something called pan pastel.
okay.
So they almost look like if you think of a cosmetics that you what do you call that? The stuff that you pat down and put on your face.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah,
compact,
yeah.
like
Foundation. Yeah.
foundational stuff. Yeah, it's a hard pressed powder like that, and you can apply it for its intended purpose was under paintings and stuff like that to get them done fast because you apply it with sponges or brushes.
Okay.
But there's, of course, nobody uses things the way they're intended to be. And there are a whole bunch of people who do full portraits and full paintings with the pan pastels. And that was my gateway drug into all of the pastels that I have now. So, but I love them. I work with them kind of on their own, but I also integrate them into this other stuff.
Oh, okay.
So,
Awesome.
but yes, Delta Art is, I got them on speed dial and they
Yeah.
know me, even though they've never seen me.
Yeah, I was real because I want to support local, and there like, so I go to my art store first. I phone there. If they don't have it, then I'll go to Delta. But they usually can't get it. Although I don't know if you've been finding this, but my art store was saying that it was getting harder to be supplied.
Well, yeah, because a lot of the stuff is imported, and
Yeah.
it's the ports that are a
Yeah.
problem because there's not enough manpower to get everything off and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And now that we've had
Yeah.
this, how long was it? 10 days of the Suez Canal that was blocked.
Yeah.
What was held up from that, and how are we going to see the trickle down? There's a framing store here in the city, and I've come to be friends with the owner of that. And she's had some of her stuff that was in a freight container somewhere. She doesn't even know where it is, but the whole container has been neglected for so long that the stuff in it is starting to go moldy. And she's got frames on there. And so the whole shipment is literally lost. And so they, you know, so supply is a really big problem in so many ways that you and I can't even imagine.
I know.
Right
Yeah.
now, for so many different reasons. And yeah.
Yeah.
Some stuff is out of stock and who knows when.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Crazy times
Yeah.
we're in.
yeah.
I know. Well, I'm going to head because I'm going to go and start creating.
All right. Well, we will see you next week, I hope.
Yes, I'll try. If I don't sleep in or if I don't look too rough, then, I'll try to be here.
Hey, I look like this, so you can show up.
Okay.
So,
We don't care.
All right.
All right.
Well, thanks. It's always nice talking to you girls. So
Yeah, you too.
we'll see you on the other side.
Yeah.
Take care. Have a good weekend.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye.